Hi, I'm Steve Jarding. I'm working for Brian Moran, who's campaign for governor, and I want to give you a quick update today as to where the campaign's at. Begin with, we feel pretty good about where we're at. We take nothing for granted. We know that all these campaigns are difficult, but we also know there's a lot at stake in this election, and I just wanted to take some time today, a few minutes, to let you know where we're at and try to give some perspective to the race. First of all, Brian has, for our purposes, his message is a message that resonates with most Virginians, with most Democrats in Virginia. And that is someone who has the experience, has the leadership, frankly someone that's been a fighter, has a proven record of fighting for Virginia in small walks of life, from ideals and beliefs that a lot of Democrats carry. We believe also that a lot of the general election audience will carry and the voters there will carry. And there are things such as fighting for environmental policy that makes sense, fighting for jobs, fighting for workers that right now are facing very tough and uncertain times. Brian has that message. He's really the only candidate in the race that does have that message. And part of that message is predicated and built upon his years and years of experience, 7 as a prosecutor, 13 in the state legislature, where he did fight for Virginia's families, worked as a partner with Tim Kaine and Mark Warner. You know, there's a lot of folks and some of our opponents saying, well, you know, some of that doesn't matter, that we can kind of come in and talk about messages. But that makes people uneasy. They want someone who they know has a proven fighting record because of the uncertain times and the economy the way it is. There is uncertainty. So one, we begin the race by saying we think we've got a candidate that can win. Brian is someone who takes a deep, deep pride in the fact that he understands the needs of Virginians. He takes great pride in the fact that he has been able to work across party lines and build consensus, because we're going to need that in these tough times ahead. But there's other issues out there that I think give credence to who Brian is. If you look at the endorsements from Democrats across the state, from leaders in the communities, from state legislators to commissioners of revenue, to local offices, to mayors, to city council, Brian has an unprecedented number of endorsements, and we think that says a lot, particularly in a primary where we're going to get a low turnout. We're looking at somewhere probably around 200,000 voters are going to turn out. It's very small when you look at the overall voter registration in the state's about 4 million. And to do that, you have to target. You have to be able to know where those voters are, know what moves them. We have, working for Brian, an individual who did the vote counting both for Mark Warner in 2001, but also did Jim Webb's race in the primary in 2006. And I did both Mark Warner's race as manager and Jim Webb's race as well. And I can tell you how important that is. In the segue from there is that if you know where the voters are and you have the right message, and indeed the right messenger, we believe we're going to get Democrats to come out for us. There's some polls out that show that Brian has moved ahead and surged ahead. And we think it's because people are starting to pay attention and they like what they see with him. There's another aspect of this, though, that I think is important. A lot of times people will look and they hear stories about someone has all this money or someone is somehow going to come in and buy this thing. I can tell you from Jim Webb's campaign, we were outspent in that primary dramatically. It was something 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1. It was a big, big number. That didn't bother us as much because we knew we had enough to turn our vote into win, and we believed then, as I believe now with Brian Moran, that we had the right messenger and the right message. We're going to target, we are targeting those voters very specifically on very specific messages, and we think that we will have the coalition to win on the 9th of June. It's very important that people not somehow get caught up in all the resources because money alone doesn't win these things. You have to have someone who Virginians know. We take great pride in Virginia that our candidates are people that have spent time, have paid the dues, have moved around the state. Brian Moran spent years moving around the state, building the caucus numbers in the state legislature so the Democrats had a chance to lead there. He logged literally hundreds of thousands of miles. He went to every corner of the Commonwealth. It's why we believe he's getting all these endorsements, because people that know Brian are now coming back and supporting him. So we believe that if we can put all that together and get the right nominee, that we've got a great shot at winning.